Another steam bath of a day here in St. Louis as the Reds and the Cardinals continue this get-together. Reds trying to snap a 6-game losing streak to St. Louis. Maybe they can get it done here tonight. Reds and the Cardinals here on Fox Sports Ohio. And on a pleasant Tuesday evening, everyone, and welcome to Reds Baseball. Jim Couch along with Chris Welsh on what is, as you can see, a bow-tie Tuesday. And Chris, I wondered, with the golf shirts, how you're going to pull that off.
Well, you know what? I am trying to set a new trend. Golf shirts and bow ties. Don't know if it's going to go over, Jim. We're going to get you converted someday if the weather continues to be as hot as it is, and it is hot here in St. Louis.
Well, let's move from bow ties to pitchers and look at the pitching matchup for tonight's game. Mike Leake, who has been very, very good for the Reds as of late, gets the baseball tonight. Who knows? Could be the last time we see Mike.
You know, when Mike Leake does it the way he's done it over the last 3 starts, he makes it look so easy. I mean, he just picks away at the corners. He changes speeds. He gets hitters out on their front foot. He pitches to their weaknesses and his strengths. And he's a never guy, well, when he's in a groove like this, he doesn't make mistakes in the strike zone. You see the ball well off the Leake because he's not overpowering, but he's a guy that nonetheless gets you out more times than not.
Leake, of course, had a very good start against the Cardinals earlier this year. Now, on the other side of things, left-hander Jaime Garcia, his career really has been interrupted 4 years in a row by injuries. But when he's on the mound, he's pitching pretty well.
Well, you're not just pretty well. I mean, he is one of the really good pitchers in the league when he's healthy. He cannot throw the ball straight. That's his problem, and that's actually the hitter's problem. Because when he gets that ball down around the knees, it's got a life of its own. Some of them tail, some of them cut, most of them sink. He's got a great changeup, a really good feel for pitching, a former 22nd round draft pick that has made it really big on the big league level, but they've got to keep him healthy. And here's what he has done at home versus the Reds. Well, these are Roy Oswalt type numbers, folks. 7-0 with a 2.2 earned run average. He strikes them out. He gets the big swinging Reds way out ahead on that changeup. They've got to be a little more patient at the plate if they're going to solve this left-hander tonight.
All right, we'll step aside when we come back. Baseball and bowling. Can we put those two together? Jim Day will talk about it when we return.
Up on the home of the Reds, Fox Sports Ohio. I'm Jim Day. My pleasure to welcome in Brandon Phillips. How we doing?
I'm doing great, Jim Day.
want to talk about an inaugural event. It's the inaugural Brandon Phillips Bowling Bash. It's coming up on September 5th, and this all benefiting the Reds Community Fund. First time ever event. This has to be cool that your name's attached to it, going to a good cause.
Well, of course, man. That's what it's all about. I just wanted to do something different, something off the wall, something I could just put that dude on, and I feel like that this bowling event, since I'm so into bowling, it'd be nice for me to show my talent also, and also for my teammates to really come do this event for the Reds Community Fund, to get the whole city of Cincinnati to come out there and support and show love to the Cincinnati Reds, and also, you know, for us all to come together, chit chat, you know, enjoy some bowling and some nice event auctions, and have all kinds of stuff going there. So if you don't make it, you're missing out. So please come out there and show some love to the Cincinnati Reds and the Community Fund. And
it'll be very cool that there'll be some Reds teammates involved, and the public can get to bowl with Reds players.
Oh, of course. You're going to see how terrible my teammates really bowl. So, you know, some of them are really talking a lot of smacks about they can do this and do that. Well, it's going to be nice because I'm going to have the fans there that can just watch them bowl also and make fun of them, because I know I'm going to be making fun of them also.
I know you love to give back to the community, your time at least. So you spend a lot of time taking pictures, signing autographs, etc. And this will go to the Reds Community Fund to help restore fields. I know you've got one that's in your name, and giving kids a place to play. It has to be big in your heart.
Well, of course, man. That's one thing that I wanted to do if I ever made it to the Major Leagues, to have a field named after me. And I could just say one thing, it's a blessing in disguise. It finally happened, and I'm just happy that the Cincinnati Reds gave me the opportunity to really make that happen. And right now with the Reds Community Fund, to make more things really get bigger than what they already are right now. And I'm looking forward to this bowling event that can really help more fields and help more urban academies or whatever the Reds want to do. I think that I'm happy that this event can really happen, and I just want to thank the Reds for giving me the opportunity to really do this.
Now, we know that you're an all-star baseball player. You could have played football or basketball in college at the Division I level. I think some people know, but not everyone knows your exploits as a bowler. This guy has 4 300 games to his credit.
Just like my number.
I mean, how long have you been bowling, and what got you into it?
Well, to tell you the truth, when I first started, I used to do the backhand bowling, and I was really terrible. And then I saw this professional bowler down there spinning the ball, doing hooks, doing all kinds of trick shots, and I was like, wow, you know, how are you doing that? And he showed me how to do it, and how competitive I was. I still am, but I wanted to learn how to be the best and try to learn how to bowl. And the next thing you know, in 2002, it became one of my favorite hobbies, to get my mind away from the game also. And I just started bowling, and hey, I became Kingpin Shouty. That's what I am right now. So, I mean, I just love bowling. I think it's nice, and hopefully one day I would like to join the PBA to see what I can really do.
Are you being serious about that?
Am I smiling, Jim Day?
No, you're not.
I'm dead serious, Jim Day.
All right, the PBA Tour. Look out for that. By the way, I've seen this firsthand in action where I'm not a good bowler. He dusted me, and part of the game was throwing it between your legs with trick shots and still beating me. That's how good this guy is.
I'm all right, man. You know, you got to have a little fun. I play with a little swag on the baseball field, and yes, I do add swag to the bowling lanes too. So, you know, I see how all the guys be bowling looking all serious and stuff like that, but no, I'm gonna have the most rated bowling doggone it show ever if I ever make it to the PBA. I'm gonna be dancing, you know what I'm saying, and crank that nay and whip and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna do all kinds of stuff, so they better not let me on there, but I'm gonna be winning. I tell you that. Winning, baby, winning.
I think we've made television history here because we've included bowling and swag in the same sentence. I don't think that's ever been done. It's the inaugural Brandon Phillips Bowling Bash. It's coming up on September 5th at the Super Bowl in Erlanger, Kentucky. For more information, go to reds.com/bowling. That is reds.com/bowling. You'll get all the particulars there, and we would love to see you at the event. Appreciate your time. All right, we thank Brandon. Coming up, the tale of two swings, situational baseball last night. Reds and Cardinals are on deck. Jim Kelch and Chris Welsh have that story. The lineups and first pitch next on Fox Sports Ohio.
Fans coming to the game here at Busch Stadium tonight as the Reds try to get even in this 3-game series. Lost here last night in a game that really came down to 3 bases loaded at bats. 2 of them came from the Reds, and this is the 3rd inning. Reds had them loaded with nobody out. Jay Bruce hit this fly ball to center, got the run home on the sac fly. Phillips gave the Reds a 1-0 lead, but following that, this 6-4-3 double play hit into by Pena meant the Reds get only the 1 run. For the Cardinals, in the 4th inning, bases loaded, 2 out. And this swing by Colton Wong, his 2nd career grand slam, gave the Cardinals a 4-1 lead. They go on to win the 1st game of the series by that score. And so tonight, Reds try to make it 1 game apiece. If they can get a good job out of Mike Leake on the mound and maybe a little bit of offense against the left-hander Jaime Garcia of the Cardinals. Coming up, the Reds try to reverse the curse, try to snap a 6-game losing streak to this St. Louis bunch. Garcia goes to the mound, his 8th start of the year. It's been a month since he last worked in a big league game, a little over a month actually. 24th of June against Miami. Comes in at 3-3 with a 1.69, and he delivers to Jason Bourgeois to get this game started. Bourgeois making just his 4th start of the year, his 1st in left field. Marlon Byrd gets the night off. Jason Bourgeois is our Kia in the driver's seat. Brought to you by Kia tonight. Career versus Garcia. You can see 6-4-11 with 4 doubles, the highest average versus any pitcher. Minimum 6 at bats for him. Bourgeois overall at 222. He spent the first half of the season on the disabled list. He had that shoulder issue, left shoulder problem come up near the end of spring training. Activated on the 28th of June. There's a guy, Chris, that you talked about earlier, undefeated in his career against the Reds.
At home here, and it's pretty impressive, really. He's a guy that he comes up with those kind of plays. I mean, you think you have him on the ropes, and he's wiggled off a number of those types of situations. But Bourgeois, who's had a good run against Garcia, hits it hard, but it finds leather. You know, these are the kind you just kind of throw your glove up and you hope the ball finds it. There it is. It does help, however, to be in a position where you can feel the ball. You keep your head still throughout your delivery. You're looking at 2 pitchers tonight, Garcia and Mike Leake. Very good fielders.
Speaking of these 2 pitchers, we should see a lot of ground balls tonight, shouldn't we?
Well, you'd think so. They both exploit the bottom of the zone.
First pitch swinging Phillips. Peralta will throw him out. Quickly 2 down. Take a look at the Reds starting lineup tonight, brought to you by Meyer. We've already seen the first 2, Bourgeois and Phillips. Third batter is walking to the plate now, Joey Votto. The middle 3, Frazier, Bruce, and Suarez. Tucker Barnhart, as always, catches Mike Leake, who's batting 8th, and Billy Hamilton batting 9th. Joey Votto extended his on-base streak to 17 straight games when he was on 3 times last night. A double. Was hit by a pitch. Last time up, drew a walk. Starts the game now in the top 10 in the league in hitting. Comes into this game at 305. 18 and 48 his power numbers. Bourgeois lined out to the pitcher. Phillips grounded out to the shortstop. Votto trying to get on here in the Reds first. That one spins him around. Votto, by the way, is our IGS Bringing the Energy feature tonight. Reds to reach base safely in 33 of 50 plate appearances. You see Joe Morgan, Hall of Famer. Barry Larkin, Hall of Famer. Joey Votto this year.
Well, when you reach base that many times in a row or out of so few of at bats, you feel comfortable at the plate. And that last pitch by Garcia was intended to make Joey Votto feel a little uncomfortable. Coming up and in, spinning him off the dish a little bit. I don't think you're really going to intimidate Joey Votto. I mean, he's just got a very strong resolve about him. And he's seeing it big right now. But at the same time, nobody likes the ball inside, especially up and in.
The home plate umpire say ball inside. Dan Iasonia. And that means Votto was aboard with 2 out. Now his streak goes to 18 straight games. Batter will be Todd Frazier. Now he's reached base safely in 34 of his last 51. You had one there too. Plate appearances.
That is just incredible. I mean, you got to figure the guy's just worn out from running down the first baseline. What a terrific run. I mean, a historic type run you're watching with Joey Votto. This is where when you get a big hitter and a big swing like Todd Frazier has, Garcia likes to speed him up a little bit with the fastball and then slow him down with the changeup. There's the fastball. Because he really doesn't pitch, you know, east and west or north and south as much as he adds and subtracts. He throws a 4-seam fastball, a 2-seam fastball. His favorite breaking pitch is the slider. His next favorite pitch is the changeup, and then he throws, maybe about 6 curveballs a game.
He made an interesting comment about him earlier. Said he cannot throw the ball straight.
Well, look at the pitches that he's throwing. I mean, we get the best angle of all when you're sitting on your couch at home in front of your big screen TV and you're seeing that ball darting all over. I mean, that's the one thing that, you know, people used to say about left-handers, that, you know, if nothing else, they can't throw it straight. And a lot of right-handers are always trying to figure out how to throw it with a little movement.
Frazier stays alive.
You know, you're right about the ground ball factor. I mean, Mike Leake is a ground ball pitcher, but, you know, this year, Jaime Garcia has thrown nearly 68% ground balls compared to fly ball outs. And that is a guy that is exploiting the bottom part of the strike zone.
Yeah, I've heard you say 50% or better. That's pretty darn good, and he's at 68%. That pitch in the dirt. Frazier didn't get it, and Molina will throw him out at first. The strikeout ends the Reds' first inning here in St. Louis. USA Regional Tourism Network. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. By Chevy. Check out our award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good. It's Skyline time. Cardinal lineup put forth by their manager, Mike Matheny. Looks like this. Colton Wong, the hero offensively last night. Then Matt Carpenter, then Matt Holliday. Johnny Peralta in the cleanup spot. Yadier Molina and Mark Reynolds. Stephen Piscotty, 7th. Peter Borges, 8th. Jaime Garcia pitches and bats 9th. Colton Wong, his 2nd career grand slam, came on the 4th inning last night. Gave the Cardinals a 4-1 lead. There was no more scoring in the game. Here's a look at that one last night on a 3-2 pitch. It was a no-doubter. Hamilton got a good jump on that ball. It stayed up for him, and despite hitting the ball hard, Colton Wong is out to start the bottom of the 1st.
Well, Mike Leake is making his 21st start, so he is well on his way to having a full season in the major leagues as far as number of starts and innings pitched. He's got an 8-5 record overall, Leake does, and he's thrown the ball very well, especially over his last 3 starts going to the start before the All-Star break.
Hey, won them all. His ERA in that stretch is 0.82. His ERA and numbers in the month of July, 3-1 with a 161. Any way you break it down, this guy has been pitching very well, gunning for his 9th win of the year here tonight.
You know, if you start looking at Mike Leake's career numbers, and in the 162 games he started, he's got 61 wins and 47 losses. I mean, that's exceptional for a young man that never really spent any time in the minor leagues. In fact, he's only had 1 start in the minor leagues, and he got rocked, so they sent him back to the big leagues. But as remarkable as it is, you never really feel that Mike Leake got or is getting the respect that he should get, just based on the fact that he's not a hard thrower. You look at Leake pitch and you say, well, he's got a little bit of that, a little bit of this, changes speeds, but he doesn't blow anybody away, and he doesn't normally put up bodacious strikeout numbers. And for that reason, it's easy to miss him unless you really appreciate the art of pitching. That's a cutter that just never seems to come down, and Carpenter, who does not strike out a lot, goes down swinging there.
Well, the Reds are hoping, of course, that there is a team or multiple teams that think about Leake the way you just talked about.
Well, you had him for 5 years. You had plenty of time to think about him, plenty of time to talk about him, plenty of time to appreciate the starts he gave you. Now, he would go on some runs where he looked like he'd get beat up pretty good, and then the naysayers would say, well, see, he doesn't throw hard enough, or he doesn't have a good enough put-away pitch. But when he's going right, and he's going right now, he makes it look about as easy as anybody in the league.
Well, he's had 3 years in a row, 30-plus starts. He hit 200-plus innings for the first time in his career last year. Now he's ahead of Holliday, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And the other thing, you know, and I don't think there's any way to predict injury, but it's clear to me that the guys who throw harder seem like they're a higher risk for injury, and he has made a lot of starts every year. Rarely does he ever miss starts.
Well, this is a guy, Holliday, who has been able to figure Leake out for the most part. 15 of 39, a .385 average lifetime against Leake. Out of the lineup last night. Slowly but surely getting him back into playing 5-6 days a week. He missed 31 games with a right quad injury from the middle of June until just after the All-Star break. On Holliday, like 4 home runs, 31 RBIs so far this year. I mean, a big splash years ago as a member of the Rockies, went to Oakland briefly, signed the long-term deal here, and he's been worth every penny of it for the Cardinals. against the shift on a hard hop to Phillips, and he will throw Holiday out. Mike Leake, a perfect first to get this one going. Defensively behind Jaime Garcia, brought to you by your Ford dealers. Holiday back and left in this game. Borges in center. Piscotty moves to right field today. Jason Hayward the night off. Carpenter, Peralta left side. Wong, Reynolds right side of the infield. Garcia throws to Yadier Molina. Remember, Molina left the game last night. A report from the clubhouse said he wasn't feeling well. He talked more about it after the game and said when he took the foul ball off the mask from Todd Frazier in the first inning, he felt fine in terms of his head. In fact, he passed a concussion test once he left the game, but he said it made him sick to his stomach. Thought he was going to throw up. Felt better today. Back in the lineup.
Really, maybe the hardest thing in sports to gauge is the concussion and the injuries to the head, especially when it comes to repetitive injuries over and over again, like those sustained by catchers. I mean, Mike Matheny knows as well as anybody in this whole ballpark about what that can do to your life. He retired early because of that. And when Molina left the game last night, and when we heard what the reason was, and I saw his name in the lineup tonight, I was just stunned.
You could tell on that replay, that was a direct shot to the mask. And he wears one of the hockey style masks that are intended to protect you better, that have more sufficient padding than the old style. And that rattled that thing. Bruce rolls over on this, and Wong will throw him out to get the second started.
Kind of a modified shift right there by the Cardinals. They did not do the normal Jay Bruce shift. They kept the two infielders on the left side of the infield, third baseman, shortstop, but they just placed Wong in the shallow right field. And Bruce couldn't find a hole.
They drove in the only Reds run last night with that sac fly in the third, but that was, as we showed during our opening segment, the key to the game last night. Bases loaded, nobody out. Reds get one. Cardinals on the fourth inning, an inning later, ended up getting a grand slam. Here's Eugenio Suarez. Suarez a hit last night, 1 for 4. His career best hitting streak now at 8 games. Mentioned it last night. It's been talked about really all year, the fact that Suarez used to be a switch hitter, gave it up going into spring training last year with the Tigers. I talked to him about that today. I said, did your stance on the left side look like your stance here on the right side. He said, no, it's totally different. Out in front of that, he strikes out. He said, I look like Colton Wong from the left side. Hands down near the waist and a very open stance up there batting left-handed. He said, I'm glad I switched and went the other way. As a reminder, as you enjoyed tonight's game, we look forward to passing along later on a Miller time moment of the game, which is, as always, brought to you by Miller Lite.
You know, Jim, it's funny talking about switch hitters. I once asked Lance Berkman, of course, Berkman in the news because that's the record that Joey Votto has either equaled or broken by a number of times he's reached base in the last 50 plate appearances. Well, I got to tell you that story next inning.
Also will throw on Barnhart. Reds go quickly, quietly in the top of number 2. Bottom of the second of this scoreless game, brought to you by your Ford dealers. Bourgeois, his first start of the year out in left. Hamilton in center, Bruce in right. Frazier, Suarez, Phillips, Votto third to first. Mike Leake caught, as always, by Tucker Barnhart. Barnhart making his 17th straight start and his 18th start of the year with Leake on the mound. Drive here by Peralta. Near the wall is Billy Hamilton, and he gets to the spot and hauls it in for the out. I have a feeling that the Cardinals want to go up there early swinging against Leake.
Well, Leake has not thrown any first pitch strikes, but he does right there, and Peralta takes it to a very deep part of the ballpark. That's all right. You know, you pitch to the depth of the ballpark or the dimension of the ballpark, and long fly balls like that, normally they stay in the ballpark here. This place pretty big, even this time of year.
Here's Yadier Molina. In fact, Wong talked about that last night. He said with the incredible humidity that you get here, he said the ball just doesn't jump out of here like it does in some places, like GABP, for instance. Another chance for Billy Hamilton. And there are two out.
You know, getting back to that Lance Berkman story, very quickly, you know, talking about switch hitting, I asked him one time because I had a son who was considering switch hitting as a kid. I said, if you had to do over again, would you be a switch hitter? And he said, absolutely not. But I would have ended up hitting left-handed because once I figured out that most pitchers are right-handed and most breaking balls are coming in towards you, it makes it a whole lot easier.
Good point. Very good point. Leake gets the first two. He's gotten the first 5 overall. He deals now with Mark Reynolds. Last night at first base, it was Dan Johnson. Tonight it's Mark Reynolds. Who knows, it may be Stephen Piscotty tomorrow night. The Cardinals doing whatever they can to replace Matt Adams over there, including looking into the trade market. Adam Lind's name, we mentioned that last night, has been brought up as the potential Cardinal.
Boy, he would be a nice pickup.
good addition the offseason for Milwaukee. Unfortunately for that club, it hasn't worked out in terms of winning. But now here, you never know. Reynolds with 9 long balls. Played for Milwaukee, in fact, last year. Hitting .229. That's a big-time threat when you bring him in off the bench to hit a long ball, isn't it?
Well, because he doesn't get cheated. I mean, he'll swing the same 0-2 as he does on 3-0.
Out in front of a changeup there. He pops it into shallow left. Suarez gives way to Bourgeois. And the second perfect inning in the books by Reds right-hander Mike Leake. First 25,000 fans in attendance received a Devin Mesoraco bobblehead presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare. For tickets, 513-381-REDS. You can visit select Kroger locations or go to reds.com/tickets. All part of a 7-game homestand coming up for the Reds once they finish up here on Wednesday night. Tomorrow night they'll have the Pirates in for 4. Then these Cardinals come back in for 3. So you have the first and second place teams in the Central for 10 straight games against the Red Legs. Leake leads it off against Garcia in the 3rd. Mike this year, a homer, 5 RBIs, 3 doubles, all that despite a 122 average. It's way below his career mark of 218. This team pretty blessed. And again, it's something we've mentioned before. Blessed with some guys from a pitching standpoint who swing the bat pretty well.
Well, you're right about that. I mean, the Reds have a number of really good athletes on their pitching staff.
There's an extra inning game not that long ago that Brian Price said yes, he was considering. Well, it was the night that Tucker Barnhart went into right field that they were considering Lorenzen as a guy that would go to the outfield.
Well, I mean, Leake played in the field at Arizona State. Lorenzen played in the outfield primarily at Cal State Fullerton.
You see right there the cut that he took. We've seen from Lorenzen. It's a non-pitcher's cut, if you will, right?
In this league, you better learn to handle the bat one way or another. It helps if you can get base hits, but even helps more if you can be consistent in getting the little things done, like getting bunts down. Well, he's being pitched to like a hitter, that's for sure.
Sign of respect. Time now if you to tweet your strongest fan photo using hashtag #OhioDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile, Again, that hashtag Ohio Data Strong Fan. Strikeout number 3 for Jaime Garcia. He last worked in a 5-inning outing for the Class A team in the Midwest League, the Peoria Chiefs, on a rehab start. Went 5 innings of no run, no hit, no walk baseball in that one through 58 pitches. So what does that tell you that he may be that tonight?
Well, from what you ferret out about a guy like Garcia, we've seen him around a long time. I mean, after all, he was drafted in 2005. When he's healthy, he can give you as good a game as anybody out there. But he waits until he's healthy to make sure he goes back out there to pitch. And when he did pitch that rehab game that ended up being a no-hitter in the minor leagues, they knew he was ready to come back. He sustained that leg injury running the bases, I think, on June the 24th. They put him on the disabled list about a week later. And at the time he did that, he came out of the ball game after he scored a run running the bases, and he said, well, it's just a leg cramp. Well, 3 weeks later is the time he finally gets back on a big league mound.
This is start number 8 for him this year. His previous 7 all have been quality starts. 1.69 ERA. We talked earlier about the fact that his career really has been interrupted by major shoulder problems almost every year.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, 9 starts in 2013, 7 starts in 2014. This is his 8th this year. So in the last 3 years, including tonight, he started 24 games. They had signed him to a 4-year deal. This is the last year of a 4-year deal that they have with Jaime Garcia, although the club has 2 club options. One for next year and one the year after that. And he will likely be a Cardinal, at least for the foreseeable future.
He underwent thoracic outlet syndrome surgery. Talk what you know about that.
Not much. I understand they remove a rib bone in order to improve blood flow.
That seems, at least now, to have really eliminated the problem that he kept having. Left shoulder strain, left shoulder soreness.
Well, you've got to ask the Cowboy those medical questions.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a good old country doctor.
Maybe he can explain it next week on television. He sits in your chair against the Pirates.
He does.
He's a good country doctor. That's a good way to describe it. Toward the middle of the diamond. Nicely done across the back by Colton Wong. He throws out Bourgeois. We head to the bottom of the 3rd of a scoreless game. Tonight's storylines brought to you by Elk & Elk. Best winning percentage when scoring 4 runs or less since 1961. They're the Cardinals at the top of the pack. .537 winning percentage, 36-31 this year when scoring 4 runs or more. 4 runs or less, pardon me.
since 1961. That's what they had last night in winning for the 8th time in their last 10 games. Mike Leake, perfect thus far. 6 up, sits down. He gets Stephen Piscotty. Last 3 games have started at 3 different positions. He started at first base on Sunday afternoon here against Atlanta. Started in left field last night. First game of this series starting in right field tonight with Jason Hayward, who's never had any luck against Leake. 0 for 13 career-wise. Mike Matheny thought, well, it'd be a good night to give him the night off. So the former Stanford Cardinal, Stephen Piscotty, in there.
Well, we learned about Piscotty last night. We haven't seen a lot of him, but sometimes it doesn't take a whole lot to begin to write a scouting report, is that he will chase a breaking ball off the plate. Got a little hanger right there that he missed and fouled straight back. Leake's happy to get a new one there.
Peter Borges waiting on deck. So you have Borges and Bourgeois in the lineup tonight. Ball 4, and so Piscotty becomes the first Cardinal base runner of this game. Leadoff walk.
Now the Cardinals are being a little more patient at the plate than the Reds are being patient at the plate against Jaime Garcia. Garcia's averaged 10 pitches an inning through the first 3. And this will be Leake's number 30th here, and he hasn't even gotten it out in the 3rd inning yet. So not that he's thrown a lot of pitches or anything. Just the point is that the Cardinals are a little bit more patient. Except for Borges.
They'll get an out at first base as Piscotty moves up. Borges goes out 4-3. And out number 1.
Well, that is an example of getting yourself out on a pitcher's pitch, first pitch of the at bat.
Batter will be the pitcher, Jaime Garcia. That was a non-Cardinal-like at bat.
Well, I mean, there's a reason a guy bats in the 8th hole. And Borges has got plenty of speed. I mean, he's a guy that has a lot of offensive weapons, laying the bunt down, slash, bunting, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, that's what you want as the opposing pitcher, is to throw a good pitch and have him make an out.
First pitch swinging here. Suarez will throw out the hustling Garcia down the line. 2 ground balls. Move the runner Piscotty to second and now to third, and an RBI chance for Colton Wong. Runner third, 2 men out. Cardinals come into this series in terms of runners in scoring position, middle of the pack at 251, down from where they've been the last couple of years. Remember, 2 years ago they hit an incredible over 300 with runners in scoring position. This year right now, coming into this game at 250, and Wong at a very respectable 292. Leake will make the play. Nicely done by the Reds right-hander to work around the leadoff walk. We are quickly through 3, scoreless in St. Louis. Tomorrow night, Aroldis Chapman was the fastest to 500 strikeouts in MLB history. Brandon Phillips provided another wow moment with a vintage behind the back flip, and Middletown native Kyle Schwarber returns to his hometown and had himself a very memorable trip. Reds Weekly with Jeff Pecoro and Doug Flynn, all new tomorrow night at 6 right here on Fox Sports Ohio. Zeros across the board, 1 left on each side of the ledger. Reds Cardinals through 3. Garcia, Leak, both on top of their game thus far.
Both pitchers throwing a lot of strikes.
Each team's had a base runner. Each pitcher has walked the batter, and that's it. Phillips first here in the 4th. Brandon brings a 9-game hitting streak into this one. He had a base hit in the 3rd last night to keep it going. Peralta will throw him out here for out number 1.
You know, the one thing about Jaime Garcia is that everything he seems to throw, his breaking pitches, they don't break diagonally and they don't break side to side. They break nearly straight down. He's a hard guy to chart from that respect, because you're not sure if you're looking at a slider sometimes or whether looking at a changeup. Great depth on all those breaking pitches.
Native of Mexico, grew up in the border town of Mission, Texas, about as far south in Texas, I guess, as you can get. Way down there by the southern tip.
Well, that's down around McAllen, Texas, and his father was an engineer. And he went to high school on the American side, and he was too old to play high school ball his senior year. So after his junior year, he was drafted, and it was by, I guess it was after senior year he was drafted, but it was by the Baltimore Orioles in the 30th round. And back in those days, the Orioles would give all of their Latin players a test. And they gave Garcia a test, and he failed the test, whether it was translation. Now, Joe Alvarez, who signed him, said that they mistranslated the test, and they did not offer him a contract. So we went back into the draft the next year. By then, the Orioles had hired a new farm director, and they wanted desperately to sign Garcia, but he said, no, I'm going back in the draft. So Joe Alvarez, who worked for the Orioles, then came over to the Cardinals, told the Cardinals, hey, draft this guy, Jaime Garcia. They did. And that's the end of the story as far as Alvarez and the Cardinals. The other part of the story, the Alvarez part, if that Joe Alvarez sounds familiar to you, he is the older brother of Johnny Alvarez, who used to be a front office operative and longtime scout with the Reds, who signed Adam Dunn. He signed Jay Bruce. He also signed Johnny Cueto. So the Alvarez brothers have had their mark here on both these ball clubs.
Johnny Alvarez, highly respected, highly thought of in baseball circles.
Now, he went from the Reds when they had a changeover in general managers. He went down to the Atlanta Braves, was there for a while, and now he's one of the head guys as advisors and scouting for the Philadelphia Phillies.
In fact, we ran into him in Brian Price's office in Philadelphia earlier this season. He and Freddie Benavides, pretty close buttons. Leadoff single, check that, a 1-out single by Votto, so he's the only Red to reach base in this game. So being on base twice again in this game means he now has tied Pete Rose, having reached base 2 or more times in a game, 15 straight games dating back to 1914. So you have an opportunity tomorrow night.
I mean, he's gotten to know the first baseman in this league better than anybody.
Sure. And break the record tomorrow night. Frazier, a strikeout victim his first time. Got 2 out of 14 on this road trip, but one of the 2 was that home run ball he hit in Colorado on Saturday. 3-run blast, part of a 4-run 3rd inning. That 5-2 win over the Rocks. That was the Johnny Cueto game. Johnny was so good. 2-2. Reds, by the way, today named their Thursday starter in the Cueto spot at home against Pittsburgh, left-hander David Holmberg. Slated to go tomorrow at AAA Louisville. Will be pushed back one day and will make his 15 debut for the Reds at home against the Pirates Thursday night. To the mound. There's one. There's two. Inning-ending double play. And again, Garcia did a nice job to field his position right there. From 700 WLW at the Holy Grail. It's your chance to answer Reds trivia, win prizes, and be part of Reds Live. Fun gets started tomorrow night at 6 at the Holy Grail.
Jim, we've got to send congratulations out to the Reds RBI champions. I mean, they have had a terrific run. The team that they have put together over there at the Reds Urban Youth Academy, the RBI team, had a note from Bill Daggy today that the senior team, which is coached by Cameron Satterwhite, they defeated a team in Cleveland, good team, 10-2 in the East Regionals, and they will end up heading off to Texas on August the 10th to compete with 7 other RBI regional champions for the national championship.
There they are, Chris.
Great group of kids and great coaching. I mean, the Reds have really made an impact, and you're going to see more and more of this. I mean, this is really the first year they've had that academy open, and the more the kids they get in there, the more kids they get interested in baseball and teach them some good fundamentals, and they are learning fundamentals there. The better the results will be.
I had a brother and a nephew who were up here earlier this summer in Cincinnati, coached a team that played in the tournament out there at that beautiful, beautiful Urban Youth Academy facility, and couldn't say enough good things about it.
And it's not only the goal to try to get these kids to the major leagues. That's nice. I mean, it has happened at other facilities. But, you know, if you can make a difference to the point where you get a kid a little bit of help in college, or you get him a look at a university where he may not have even considered going because he's got a chance to play baseball there. The junior team made it to the championship game, and the softball ladies did not make it to the championship game, but they had a very good run, and for the first time in 4 years they can say that they also are champions in their own way.
Congratulations to all those teams, and we look forward to more success coming out of what the Reds have done with that facility out there and all the teams, and facilities that they have helped make better places.
And it's, once you build a facility and it's a beautiful place, you have to have the people. And they've got good people running that over there, really care about what they're doing, and that's the heart of it all.
Mike Leake continues to go about his business. He's only thrown 40 pitches and he's an out into the 4th inning. Look how far back Jose Oquendo plays with Matt Hollanebda. You'd think he was Mark McGwire. How far back he is. I mean, he is 40 feet behind the third base coach's box.
That's about where he played with McGwire.
Yeah.
Actually, I think this is where he used to be when McGwire was up.
Rene Latchman, I think, was the third base coach at the time.
You're right. I think you're right about that.
And he stood way back there at third. That's a beautiful off-speed pitch by Leake to retire Holiday. Strikeout number 2 for Mike.
Both these pitchers on top of their game right now. They're throwing early strikes, and they're putting the hitters on notice that we're coming right after you. And he chases a pitch down and way out of the zone. A lot of real easy outs. I mean, the first couple of hit balls in this game off of each pitcher. The one that went right back to Jaime Garcia off the bat of Borges or Jason Bourgeois was hard hit. And the first out made by Colton Wong, a line drive to center field. But other than that, there have not been all that many squared up baseballs.
Backhanded by Suarez. There's your third perfect thing of the night for the right-hander Mike Leake.
Ohio. I'm Jim Day. We'd like to send out a big old happy birthday wish to Hall of Fame broadcaster Marty Brennaman, turning 73 today. And there's the Hall of Famer. Got his wife Amanda in town as well. She happens to be born on the same day, so they're celebrating their birthday together here in St. Louis. And the Cardinals having a little fun with Marty B on the big board. Check out the left side of your screen. Happy 107th birthday, Marty Brennaman. I'm not sure if Marty saw that on the screen, but it gave us a big chuckle.
They spelled his name right, at least. That's a good thing.
He's over there getting the Dickens. That is, the cowboy is getting the Dickens from Marty right now. I mean, waving his hand and getting all over him because he knows the cowboy had something to do with that.
That's good.
Which he did.
Marty usually likes to wave at our Fox Sports Ohio audience when he knows he's on camera. Today he didn't get the opportunity.
You know, he's really not 107 years old. That is in Cardinal years.
Oh, is that how that works? Tell you what, though, he has entertained Reds fans for almost a half a century. Done a great job with it. He loves to call Reds baseball. He's very, very entertaining.
Well, he wouldn't be here if he didn't love it.
Sure.
I think more than anything, I couldn't say more than anything, but one of the things he really loves is having dinner with all of us every night in the media dining room and holding court, and then the visiting broadcasters and scouts will sit in, and it's like nothing you've ever heard.
A lot of times he'll get, and you know this because it's happened to you, it's happened to me. He'll get a nugget of information about you, and you want to talk about it. He'll say, no, I don't want to talk about that now. I'm going to wait till I have a bigger audience at dinner one night, and I'll bring it up then.
That's why I stopped drinking milk. I got tired of it coming out of my nose from laughing so hard.
Garcia does a nice job there on Jay Bruce. Jay is 0 for 2 in this game. 4 strikeouts now for Garcia. Remember to follow the Reds wherever you are with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment. In-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatsCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or your tablet. Here's Eugenio Suarez. Suarez had not appeared against Garcia prior to tonight's game. I mentioned earlier, Garcia 8 career starts here at Busch against the Reds, 7-0. In those 8 starts, 8 quality starts. So the Reds rarely see him when he's not on his game.
Well, you either see him on his game or you don't see him at all. I mean, that's been the record of him and his injuries, unfortunately, for the Cardinals. I mean, he has had Tommy John surgery. He's had shoulder problems. He's had that thoracic syndrome surgery that you mentioned earlier.
Thoracic outlet syndrome surgery, you're right. He looks for his 3rd perfect inning of the night. He deals with the switch-hitting Tucker Barnhart. We talked about the ground balls that he will get. 7 of them now. 2 4 2/3. And another one. Long to Reynolds. Down go the Reds in the 5th. Middle of the 5th already. Scoreless at Busch. local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. I'm Meyer. Find more for a healthier you at Meyer. And by Cincinnati Children's, ranking 3rd in the country on U.S. News and World Report Best Children's Hospital. Evening setting here in St. Louis. Gateway City is its nickname. You see the arch a lot when you're here. Really, for one of the first times in a long time, you don't see that arch logo in the outfield grass. It's been here for years and years, but not tonight. In fact, not last night either. No arch in center field in this series. Yadier Molina leads things off. Here we are now on the 28th of July. We inch closer to the trading deadline of 4 p.m. on Friday, and there were a couple of moves that happened today. I don't know, did the Troy Tulowitzki deal happen last night before we left the air or not? He's now a Toronto Blue Jay.
Which is kind of a curious deal if you've been following it at all. I mean, what most people who are Blue Jay fans or follow that team would say that what they need most is pitching. And they ended up trading shortstops, essentially, sending Jose Reyes to the Colorado Rockies in exchange for Tulowitzki, who we just saw last weekend.
Line drive right at Phillips, and Molina is handled. LaTroy Hawkins was also in that deal. Here's what's happened recently. The Tulowitzki deal, along with LaTroy Hawkins, going to Toronto. Ben Zobrist. Last year we were talking about Zobrist as possible guy that the Reds might be trying to get. He goes to Kansas City, their second deal. And how about Jonathan Papelbon going to the Nationals to add to what is already a pretty darn good bullpen over there? They're serious about it.
Never good enough. Those are the words of Tony La Russa, who always used to maintain that if you wanted to win on the road, you had to have a lights-out bullpen. That was where most of his efforts have always been made. Of course, he is now running operations down for the Diamondbacks in Phoenix. He, along with Dave Stewart, who's the general manager. And they have been rumored, actually, to have been interested in the Reds' Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, Diamondbacks' name came up today, and the Giants' name came up today.
I mean, why wouldn't you be interested, really? I mean, at the very least, you make a call, or nowadays, you send out a text.
Of course, the relationship with Walt Jocketty, Tony La Russa, goes back to here, St. Louis.
Well, a lot of defensive swings on both parts tonight. You got pitchers that are really attacking the strike zone, but not throwing the ball right down the middle. We haven't seen too many hitters counts. We've seen some bad swings because they're changing speed so well.
Reynolds got under it, hit it into center. Hamilton will make the put out, and that is out number 2. Great American Ballpark is the place to be for students coming up on Wednesdays for the new student discount days presented by First Student. All students can purchase discounted tickets for all Wednesday Reds home games just by showing their school ID at the box office. If you'd like more information, you can visit reds.com/students. Reds will be home Wednesday. It's a Wednesday night game coming up against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Actually, that's here tomorrow night. The Reds will be home the following week. Tomorrow night on a Wednesday, Anthony DeSclafani here against John Lackey. Reds are home the following Wednesday against the Cardinals. And to the right for Piscotty becomes the first hit of the game for St. Louis. A 4 2/3 innings of no-hit baseball by Lee ended on a swing of the right by Piscotty.
Well, you see where leak is trying to stay on Piscotty. Said that he pulled off the ball a little bit, but when you get it up around waist high, those pitches are a lot easier to take the other way than the ones down around the knees.
Well, Piscotty has made 5 starts for the Cardinals and has had a hit in each of those starts. Here's Peter Borges. Cardinals acquired this guy from the Angels in the David Freese deal. They thought this was going to be their everyday guy, but he just has not hit enough for them. John Jay, who lost his job to Borges, ended up winning it back.
Of course, John Jay on the disabled list, or he would be out there every day, including tonight.
Randall Grichuk has played a lot of center field with Jay on the DL, but he suffered a slight groin strain in their game here over the weekend. Runner going, and Frazier will make the play on that ground ball. Throw out Peter Borges, and so a 0 on the board for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 5th.
Before anyone else, it's Reds Live postgame. It's brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. I'm Jim Day. The guys in the booth told you that David Holmberg will start for the Reds on Thursday, and some had speculated, could it be Robert Stevenson, the #1 prospect by Baseball America for the Reds, after a stint in Double-A, actually a couple years in Double-A. He's really taken off at Triple-A Louisville, came in 3-0 tonight, and has bettered that, in line for the victory tonight. Look at this line: 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk. He has struck out 10 batters, 105 pitches. The Bats lead 3-0 over Charlotte in the bottom of the 8th, so we're assuming his night is done with 105 pitches. But he has really taken off since he has arrived in Louisville after toiling a couple of years in Double-A. And Robert Stevenson, a guy that can reach triple digits on that radar gun.
Well, that would be then his longest outing in AAA at 8 innings, and back-to-back starts in which he did not allow a run. His last time out, no runs in 6 innings on the 22nd, no runs in 8 tonight. That's pretty impressive right there.
Well, you know, he'll turn out to be evidently a really good first-round pick, because when he was picked, all he had was a good arm. He had a delivery that was really kind of out of whack, but he threw very hard. And you know, you've got to credit the Reds minor league pitching coaches for helping him develop along the way, to obviously now to get him to the point where he's got a repeatable delivery, and that breaking ball, which has always been very sharp but inconsistent, evidently is going where he wants it to be. So, boy, you know, if you think about the 3 pitchers the Reds got in the Cueto deal, and you know, a guy like Stevenson and Amir Garrett coming up out of A-ball, big tall left-hander who they're very high on, and Nick Travioso, all of a sudden you have a whole wave of pitchers that are getting near the top of that minor league food chain.
Just a step below them, last year's #1 pick, Nick Howard, out of Virginia.
And those are the type of players that you need if you want to pull off a deal to get a stud fielder or hitter or, pitcher in return. So, the Reds are going to have a little flexibility going forward.
You're talking about those pitching coaches. In Double-A, it's Jeff Facero, who's a longtime big leaguer, very successful. Ted Power, another one who spent a lot of time in the big leagues, who's been the Triple-A guy now he's closing in on 10 years down there.
Tony Fossis is in the organization still. Tom Browning at Dayton. Tom Brown. Also, a lot of the young pitchers always credit Tom Brown for being one of the most helpful pitching coaches along the way. They've got a bunch of them.
Here, the leadoff man, Mike Leake, has reached with a base hit into right, so the Reds get their second hit. First time they've had the leadoff man on in this game. Now Billy Hamilton hits from what is considered his better side, the right side, hitting .242 right-handed, .220 left-handed this year. We'll try to do as a bare minimum move Leake along. In at third is Carpenter. Fly to center his first time. One hit last night, 1 out of 4. Only 4 hits and 17 at bats in this series as he looks to that man, Jim Riggleman, for the signs as to what he wants him to do.
The guy we can't leave out when we start talking about minor league pitching coaches is the pitching coordinator, who is a former St. Louis Cardinal minor league operative and minor league coach, and Mark Riggins.
Yeah.
So he was with the Cardinals for quite a long time.
Garcia gets and throws, and it's close at first base. Wong had to catch that thing and get his arm out of the way. Billy Hamilton was racing into the bag. Credit him with a sacrifice. It'll go 1-4, and boy, that was close at first.
Well, ahead of time with Billy Hamilton squaring like that, even when you get to the ball fairly soon, like Garcia does, you've got to turn and fire. And that's one of those dangerous situations where the guy covering the bag, whether it's first baseman or second baseman, reaches right into the path of the runner. Wong is able to get his left arm out of the way. You see some very serious injuries sustained in that type of a collision.
And that's what I'm talking about, close. The out was there. I mean, he was a step away, but very close to Billy taking that arm of Wong right off. But a man in scoring position now. See what Bourgeois can do out of the #1 spot. First at bat of the night now for the Reds, who went 0 for 8 runners in scoring position last night. First opportunity tonight with a man out at second base. Bourgeois 0 for 2. He's lined out and grounded up. Chased by Reynolds, and Reynolds got there, dropped the ball. Tried to make a basket catch. Couldn't quite hang on.
When you see Brandon Phillips make those plays like that, I mean, seemingly with his eyes closed, you assume it's an easy play to make. Maybe not.
Those soft hands of Brandon Phillips.
Hand-eye coordination.
Maybe why he's such a good bowler. 300 games. kidding me?
Unbelievable.
And a beautiful off-speed pitch by Garcia. And Bourgeois back to the dugout.
Well, Garcia's really staying down in the zone, isn't he? I mean, even if you're making contact with it, you're having a hard time elevating it because right down there at the hollow of the knees.
Phillips a chance now with Leak out at second base and 2 men down. Brandon .257 with runners in scoring position this year. That is tops on this Reds team. Twice he has tried the shortstop Peralta with no luck after going 1 for 4 in the game last night. In fact, he scored the only run for the Reds in this series to date. Phillips sitting at 32 runs batted in on the year. He only had 1 RBI since the 6th of July. So we're talking about 3 weeks. Big chance here in the top of the 6th. Votto waiting on deck. Another team the Reds are tracking, those Milwaukee Brewers. Giants got the best of them last night 4-2. The Reds started the day a game and a half ahead of the Brewers. They're playing out at San Francisco tonight. Willie Peralta against Matt Cain. That game doesn't start till 10:15 Eastern time, another 45 minutes from now. Ball 3.
A rare curveball right there. Looks like Garcia is maybe having the same type of problem that Raisel Iglesias had last night, with the ball just slipping out of your hand because it's so wet from perspiration dripping down your forearm. After every pitch, he goes back and tries to pick up a little dry dust.
And ball 4.
Wow, a good at bat right there to keep the line moving for the hottest hitter on the planet.
Interested to know, and I guess I just never heard this before, but you mentioned it, I think, last night, that a pitcher cannot wear sweatbands, regardless of the color.
Cannot wear sleeves other than the color of your uniform. Some guys can get away with, you know, if you're a first baseman, you might be able to get away with a white sleeve or an elbow wrap that is white, you know, but pitchers can't do that. Anything that'll be distracting to the hitter. The glove has to be one color.
Votto has walked and singled in this game, batting with 2 on, 2 out, top of the 6th. center field. Borges going back. Still going back. Home run. Straightaway center for Joey Votto. His 19th of the year. Puts him over the 50 RBI mark now at 51. Votto comes through big time here in the top of the 6th inning. And the Reds jump in front 3-0.
Well, what we are seeing right now is special because you are looking at one of the best hitters in baseball who is being at his best. I mean, absolutely scalding on fire. And he gets a mistake pitch right down the middle, and Garcia doesn't even bother to look.
Fourth home run ball given up by Garcia this year. Reds, as they did last night, strike first. This time with a little more oomph to it. 3-run homer by Votto. He's been on base all 3 times again tonight. In the hole and off the glove of the shortstop Peralta into left. Frazier's going to take advantage of that ball that hit off Peralta's leather and then slowed it down and get down to second base. That's going to be a double for Todd Frazier, who leads the National League now with 32 base hits.
Well, he's going to get a base hit on this anyway because no way Peralta's going to throw him out, but the ball just goes off the tip of his glove, and because of that, Frazier will keep it going with a double. Little activity now in the Cardinal bullpen.
Carlos Villanueva, the former Chicago Cub. This inning started with a single to right by Leake. Hamilton moved him up with a sac bunt. Bourgeois struck out, but Phillips drew a walk in what you credited a very good plate appearance. Votto 3-run homer, traveled 418 feet to straightaway center. Frazier the double. Chance for Bruce now to add to a 3-0 Reds lead. Votto surpassing 50. The Reds now have 3 players. Bruce, Frazier, Votto, over 50 runs batted in. Garcia through 5 had allowed 2 base runners, a walk to Votto in the first, a single to Votto in the fourth. This inning he's given up 3 hits, including the home run ball and his second walk.
Really, he's given up 2 hard hit balls in the game to the first batter, Jason Bourgeois, and that long home run by Votto. Other than that, everything has been pretty much routine. But a hot, humid night, a young man that has been on the disabled list for several weeks. I think the most that he pitched on one of his rehab starts was just a little under 6 innings. So they may be thinking about going to the bullpen just from a fatigue standpoint. Next pitch will be number 80.
Off-speed pitch, and Bruce missed it. Shallow right field, Wong. He'll make the play. Jay out. The inning is over. But the 19th of the year by Joey Votto has given the Reds the lead here in the 6th. and they jump in front of this game 3-0, trying to get even here and give themselves an opportunity to snap that streak, which is 9 series in a row and 21 of the last 23 in which they have lost to the Cardinals. They've not done well over here. Of course, that's been chronicled series in and series out, but if they can get the win here, they'll have an opportunity tomorrow to end that. Dan Johnson pinch hitting for Jaime Garcia, rolls out easily for out number 1. Be a part of Super Saturdays this season at Great American Ballpark. This Saturday, see your Reds take on the Pirates for as low as $12. Plus, the first 25,000 fans in attendance receive a Devin Mesoraco bobblehead presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Tickets 513-381-REDS. You can visit select Kroger locations, or you can go to reds.com/tickets at this coming Saturday 7:10 game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And how about the news today announced by the Reds regarding September the 12th of this year against these Cardinals in an afternoon game? Base hit to left by Wong. Reds announced today a Pete Rose bobblehead giveaway to all fans. All fans who enter the ballpark on September the 12th. That is a Saturday afternoon game against the Cardinals, a 105 game. It's the third and final player featured in the Stars of the Queen City bobblehead series, celebrating Pete's 30th anniversary. A record-breaking hit, number 4192, back on 9/11/85. A Pete Rose bobblehead giveaway to everyone who enters. That'll get him going. Your old manager.
Well, I'll tell you what. That will be one popular day at the ballpark.
Final line on Jaime Garcia, the Cardinals starter. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He threw 80 pitches. He's made 8 starts this year. All 8 have been quality starts. Big blow, of course, by the Reds. The home run by Joey Votto. Wong leads the way at first, now held by Votto. 1 out here in the home 6th inning. Carpenter struck out. He's grounded out. Check swing, and according to Dan Iasonia, he did go around. Those 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Cardinal third baseman. Carlos Villanueva continues to throw, so he'll be the next St. Louis pitcher come the 7th. Phillips ranges to his left and makes the play. Long in scoring position for Matt Holliday. Holliday this year, a robust 409 with runners in scoring position. This game against Leake, he's grounded out and struck out. Mike trying to get the final out here in the bottom of the 6th. That pitch count for Leake at 70 Reds bullpen stone quiet. Just off the plate. This is what we're talking about with Matt Holliday. Base is empty, very pedestrian. Runners get on base. He heats up. Got him in the air here. Bruce charging. Phillips out. Jay coming on, and Jay makes the play to retire Matt Holliday and put an end to the Cardinal 6th inning. Matchup tonight. Jaime Garcia, Mike Leake, both on top of their game. Quick moving first 5. Leake struck out 2. Garcia struck out 5, but then this blow delivered by Joey Votto in the 6th after a hit by Leake. A walk to Phillips. 3-run homer by Votto, his 19th of the year. 3-0 Reds. Here's how the starters have fared tonight. Garcia out of the game, 3 runs, 4 hits, 6 innings. Leake still going strong. No runs, 2 hits in 6. He has really been something to behold in the month of July, that's for sure. That's tonight's Honda game summary. New pitcher on, Carlos Villanueva.
Villanueva now 31 years old. He's from Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic. He has pitched for the Brewers, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Chicago Cubs last couple of years, and now in his 24th game for the Cardinals.
Cardinals signed him as a free agent in February, just really before spring training began this year.
Now we've seen him really in just about every different role you can possibly see him. Starter, reliever, long man, late in close ball games.
Suarez on a bid into right, and he's going to get it, a base hit. I mean, he put it perfectly between Piscotty, Wong, and Reynolds. 3 of them running after that ball. No one could get it. Suarez extends his hitting streak to 9. Leadoff man on.
Just flips it right in there with that old 60-degree sand wedge. Suarez does. Right on the end of the bat.
Well, you lay him in there, isn't it?
With a little backspin on it and everything.
See, now you're getting too technical.
You probably have a little backspin tennis shot, don't you?
Yeah, but it's easier to do with a tennis racket than a golf club. Tucker Barnhart, he's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice.
I imagine that most of the Reds team, other than Joey Votto, happy to see the last of Jaime Garcia tonight.
Votto doesn't care who's out there anymore.
Right now, it doesn't matter.
Crept into the top 10 in hitting going into today. Votto at 305. He had gone almost a 2-month stretch under 300, which just is atypical for him. Started today at 305, number 10. He's 2 for 2 with a walk today. In a good position here as we play in the 7th. Still a third of this game to go, but trying to snap a 6-game losing streak to the Cardinals. They beat them the first time they played them this year back at home after starting the series, after starting the season with that sweep of the Pirates, and then beat the Cardinals. We're 4-0 out of the gate. Double play ball. 6-4-3. Second turn by the Cardinals tonight. All right, as we talked about earlier in the game, time to select the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Ohio Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. There's our fan photo of the game. Andy. Two out for the pitcher, Mike Leake. He started that rally in the 6th inning with a little base hit into right. Moved up on the Hamilton sack and then scored on the Votto home run. Gives it a good ride here to right, but handled by Piscotty to retire the side. 3 batters out thanks to the double play. Stretch time here at Busch.
Ohio. I'm Jim Day. We've talked about the players the Reds received. 3 left-handers for Johnny Cueto. 2 of them, Jeff Lamb and Brandon Finnegan, reported to the Louisville Bats today. The other one is Cody Reed, and he will report to AA Pensacola, and he will report there on a high note. Looking at a video of him right here. Love the glasses, by the way. He is the Texas League Player of the Week. One day after being traded, he was named yesterday. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts between high A and double A. 2.53 ERA this year, a 1.19 whip, 84 strikeouts and 96 innings pitched. He's only 22 years of age, and you guys mentioned it. Reds stocking up with young arms, and they look promising. John Lamb, excuse me, I said Jeff Lamb. John Lamb is a pitcher at Louisville, and he is
They say that he is very close to being Major League ready, along with Finnegan.
Yeah, Lamb, we're going to make his Louisville debut tomorrow night. He's going to pitch there for the Bats. He's the one you were talking about that has developed the cutter that's so good, right?
He's the big dude, right?
He is a 6'4", 205-pounder. Yeah.
Now the
Cody Reed is 6'5", Lamb is 6'4".
Reed is big and stout.
Okay, yeah, 6'5", 220, right.
And it's interesting because, you know, you get 3 left-handers in one deal from the Royals, and then in that Ben Zobrist deal, they traded another left-hander from Kansas City to Oakland in that deal. So they must have left-handers growing on trees inside that Kansas City Royal farm system.
When you've been down as long as Kansas City has, and you get to where you were last year, now you have the best record in the American League this year, you're going to go for it. Speaking of going for it, Bruce did a nice job to track that ball off the bat of Molina with a second out. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, and they're making it very clear that they are all in.
I mean, the 2 Missouri teams, the Cardinals, best record in baseball, 64-35. Kansas City, best record in the American League, 60-38. You could harken back to the 1985 I-71 World Series. Isn't that right? I-70, pardon me, I-70 World Series.
The 71 World Series, that would be the Bats and the Reds.
That's right. The old American Association days. Safe at second base, and the double is Mark Reynolds. That 85 World Series, that was the Joaquin Andujar and the Don Deckinger call at first base and all that stuff.
One of the few bad pitches that Mike Leake has made on the night, pretty much a hanging breaking ball and ripped into left field by Reynolds. You know, if you give that up with 2 out, nobody on, there's no harm done, you're still working down the bottom of the order. You have Piscotty up, who's been on base twice, though. Reached out and laid one into right field his last time up.
He hit what appeared, you correct me if I'm wrong, he hit what appeared to be a pretty good pitcher's pitch.
Piscotty did, yeah.
Right. Efficient tonight for sure from Mike Leake. Nothing over the 16 that he had in the 5th. 2 innings, single-digit pitch count. Got him in the air for Billy Hamilton. 7 shutout innings worth of work tonight so far from Mike Leake. Reds, you know, you're talking about the guys that the Reds acquired, Brandon Finnegan and John Lamb and Cody Reed. Brian Price was asked yesterday in his daily media meeting about if and when we may see some of those guys in the big leagues. And he was asked about Finnegan and Lamb. He said, yeah, I think there's a great possibility that we'll see those two up here at some point this year. Finnegan last year when he pitched in the College World Series for TCU and then the World Series for Kansas City became the first pitcher ever in Major League Baseball history to appear in both of those in the same year. Hard to fathom, isn't it?
It really is hard to fathom, and handled himself quite well.
Guy gets drafted in 2014 of June out of Texas Christian. Admittedly pitched in the College World Series and pitched in a lot of big games, but he makes his big league debut in September at Yankee Stadium with 2 innings of shutout relief. That's getting tossed in.
Well, if he didn't do that in September, he probably would have not have been put on the postseason roster. I mean, they want to see if you can handle a big stage. No bigger stage in baseball, of course, than the World Series.
Hamilton trying to get on to start the 8th inning for the Reds. Swinging at this 3-2, and he will be out number 1. Carpenter handles that. Billy 0 for 2, and now 1 for 6 in this series.
Yeah, 2 balls in the air tonight. Not what Billy wants to do.
Bourgeois hit us in 3 tonight. Had a hit in the game on Sunday out in Colorado. Didn't start. Came in midway through the game. Went 1 for 3. Giving Marlon Byrd a night off tonight. Getting to start out in left field. Peralta. He throws out Bourgeois for out number 2. Tonight, be sure to catch Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1 for complete highlights and analysis of everything that's happened in Major League Baseball today, plus the latest from NFL training camps and the world of sports. Fox Sports Live is tonight on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Well, the crowd has not had much to cheer about here at Busch Stadium tonight, but they take every opportunity they possibly can to welcome Brandon Phillips back to St. Louis. They boo him each and every time he comes to the plate still. Not quite as loud as it used to be, though.
Double barrel action now in the Cardinal bullpen. Left-hander Randy Choate, right-hander Miguel Sokolovich. Otto on deck. If Villanueva cannot get Phillips, he would be done for the night. Either way, he's done for the night. Pitcher spot due up second in the bottom of the 8th. Well, like we said earlier, though, it doesn't matter who's out there against Joey. He is so locked in right now. Cardinals a 4-1 winner last night. It took a big home run. In fact, a grand slam by Colton Wong tonight. 3-run homer by Joey Votto. Turned the tails the other way. Sharply hit ball, but handled by Peralta. And the Reds go in order for the 4th time tonight. Upcoming the bottom of the 8th. Still 3-0 Reds. Game with Reds Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Reds Live presented each and every game by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Tomorrow night, the wrap up of this series. Reds Live will get you started at 7:30. First pitch at 8:15 Eastern Time. Tomorrow night's pitching matchup: Anthony DeSclafani against right-hander John Lackey. Another one with a sub-3 ERA. Lackey at 2.88. Going into tomorrow night's game.
Their starting pitching has just been unbelievable. We showed you a graphic last night of how it has really been solely the starting pitching that has kept the Cardinals on the pace that they're on. They've got a lot of fill-in players due to injury. Their bullpen has been decimated. They've got players down there that they've picked up and really never thought they'd have to rely on.
Jason Hayward is on deck to bat for Villanueva. Trying to get the leadoff man here, Peter Borges. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Malik has retired the leadoff man in every inning with the exception of the 3rd, when he walked Piscotty to lead that inning off.
Now he's gone full to Borges here in the bottom of the 8th. Came into this inning at 77 pitches through 7 innings. Nice backhand pick by Suarez, and that's a strong arm from the hole to retire the leadoff man.
Nice solid play by Suarez right there. He's got the tools. He's got the arm. He's got the bat speed. You know, it's really repetition of good fundamental fielding practice that will make him a better and better defender.
Now Jason Hayward here in the 8th inning bats for Villanueva. Mentioned earlier that Hayward getting the night off tonight, in part at least because lifetime he's 0 for 13 against Mike Leake. Comes into the game overall hitting .278 with 9 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Hitless last night in 3 and had an intentional walk. this one into right. That's going to be extra bases. His first hit in 14 career at bats against Leake. He's in scoring position with 1 out.
Looked like a little hanging breaking ball of some kind, either a curveball or a slider, and he loves the ball down the zone. Hayward does. Gets his arms extended and rips it hard.
Reds have action in the bullpen. In fact, had it when this inning started. J.J. Hoover is up and throwing. Hayward's 21st double of the year gives the Cardinals an opportunity. Colton Wong 1 for 3.
Well, not only J.J. Hoover, but Aroldis Chapman is getting up to the bullpen to begin to loosen up, it looks like, also. At least milling around down there. Maybe not. I thought he had a glove and was getting ready to throw. If you were going to use him for a multi-inning save, more than a 3-out closing challenge, this would be the kind of game you do it in.
I've not seen it this year that I can recall. There's the all-star, Aroldis Chapman. Name being bandied about on TradeRumors.com all day today, all week this week, all week last week. Today his name affiliated with the Diamondbacks and the Giants. In the air to right center. Bruce going back. Hamilton going back. Billy on the track, got there, and he made the catch for the out. Hayward was 3 steps off the bag at second. He had to go back and tag, and by that time, no way for him to move up.
Well, now we highlight our flamethrower brought to you by Cholula Hot Sauce. It came way back in the first inning when Matt Carpenter went down on a high, hard one right here, right underneath his elbows. This goes. Take another look at our flamethrower brought to you by Cholula Hot Sauce. Nice to feature a Cholula Hot Sauce pitch in the night when it is performed by a Reds pitcher.
Indeed.
Hate to see it the other way. And appropriate because Carpenter's coming to the plate right now.
Here he is. These Cardinal fans thought they had something to cheer about on that drive by Wong. Really, Hamilton ran it down.
I'll tell you, if you're sitting at home and you're a young pitcher or you coach young pitchers and you watch Mike Leake tonight, one thing he has been able to do brilliantly is throw to that first base side of home plate. I mean, when he comes in on a left-hander, he's not leaving it out over the plate. He's not coming way in. He is right in that little spot where they swing at it, but they cannot keep it fair. Did it again. And he's not throwing all that hard. I mean, there are kids in high school that throw 89 miles an hour. There are high round draft picks, and of course they're throwing in the mid-90s. But here Mike Leake is just keeping these guys off balance, one batter after another, by excelling at the art of pitching.
Placement, location,
movement.
A lot of good stuff out of him tonight, and really for the entire month of July. Got it. Nice breaking ball. Leake gets strikeout number 3, and he works around the 1-out pitch hit double by Hayward. He has been exceptional tonight. Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your local Toyota dealers, proud sponsor of the Cincinnati Reds. How about our Miller Time moment of the night, brought to you by Miller Lite? What else could it be? This blast by Joey Votto in the 6th inning against Jaime Garcia. The teammates Leake and Phillips aboard. Over the wall, it traveled 418 feet. 19th of the year for Votto. So led all the offense in this game thus far. A 3-0 Reds lead that still stands as we play into the 9th inning. So you saw Mike Leake get the glad hand in the dugout, huh? Brian Price and company in there. Votto leads it off against a new pitcher, lefty Randy Choate. Other changes that we'll touch on for the Cardinals as well. Right field, Jason Hayward stays in the game after pinch hitting. He's in right. Third base is now Mark Reynolds, who moves from first to third. And at first base now is Stephen Piscotty, who had been in right.
Now, Choate is the guy. Randy Choate is a left-hander on the mound right now, and he is the definition of a loogie. Left-handed, only one guy pitcher. He's on the last year of a 3-year deal that he signed, and he will turn 40 years old, I think, sometime in the off-season. Actually, in this season, September the 5th. And look at Votto. Are you hot or are you hot?
The other way against the lefty Choate. He's going to get 2 bases out of this. Joey Votto been on base 4 times tonight. He has now been on base 15 times in 21 plate appearances on this road trip.
I'll tell you what, folks, take a good look, because you will not see this very often out of any baseball player. It is just remarkable the kind of run he is on right now. And you can say all you want about Joey Votto being a natural hitter and, you know, all this God-given talent. This guy works as hard as anybody out there. I mean, he is out there taking early batting practice. He's watching video. He's working with Don Long on the smallest little adjustment you can imagine just to get it right. And it is paying off big time.
Choate in to face one batter. Votto, he's out. Time for our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. On the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals will be Miguel Sokolovich.
It would be Miguel Angel Sokolovich. He hails from Caracas, Venezuela. He's 29 years old. He's been around a while. He's pitched in the big leagues before. He's pitched with the Baltimore Orioles. He pitched a little bit with the Cubs last year, 6 ball games, and he is now in his 20th ball game for the Cardinals out of the pen.
A few years ago, he actually pitched over in Japan. He gets Frazier with Votto at second base and nobody out. Reds trying to add to a 3-0 lead here in the 9th inning. Chapman is throwing. Keep in mind, if the Reds add any more offense, it would not be a save situation for Aroldis Chapman. That being said, I'd love to see a 3 or 4 spot put up here anyway. Todd in this game, double as last time, 1 out of 3. Team leader in RBIs with 67. In fact, he's tied for 3rd in the league in that department. This down and fires a strike across to Piscotty. Takes a hit away from Frazier. Nice play by Mark Reynolds.
Especially considering the fact that he spent the entire game at first base. And he really only fills in at 3rd from time to time, because the main guy over there, I mean every day, every inning, is Matt Carpenter.
Carpenter left the game as part of the double switch. He made the last out in the bottom of the 8th. Now it's Jay Bruce. Tough night tonight for Jay. He's grounded out, struck out, popped up. And he signals into right field. Votto is being waved around by Jim Riggleman. Here comes a throw, and it's up the line and wide to Molina at the plate. Votto scores standing up. Reds out a run, and it is 4-0 here in the 9th. Jay Bruce comes up with RBI 55.
Just gets a pitch up out over the plate. Jay Bruce not even thinking about where he's going to hit it. He just wants to hit it. Finds a hole and drives a run in.
That'll be Eugenio Suarez. Another 40,000 plus crowd here tonight at Busch. 41,466, meaning 51 home dates this year. 51 crowds of 40,000 or more.
They have not had too many nights here at this stadium like this, where people are beginning to leave. Not that it's a blowout by any means, but the way the Cardinals have been throttled by Mike Leake, and presumably whoever Brian Price decides to bring in out of the Reds bullpen.
Leake had won only 1 game in his career in 5 starts here at Busch, and that was last year early on when he went 8 innings of no-run 4-hit baseball. Match that for the most part tonight. And we get a no runs, 4 hits in 8 innings again. Again, we thought we saw the handshakes going on in the dugout, meaning he is finished. Chapman has been throwing in the bullpen. Now there appears to be more action out there as well, as this turned into a non-save situation.
I mean, you talk about, you know, the job the league did tonight against the best team in baseball record-wise at home, where they are by far the best team. They've played 50 games in this ballpark coming into tonight's game, and they've only lost 13 here.
Hayward tracks this one down and makes the catch.
And as you would presume, we have seen over the last few days, Jim. We saw him in Denver, and we've seen even more here in the city of St. Louis. Scouts being sent out in all different areas by different teams, and some of those presumably here to watch Mike Leake pitch.
Well, since the month of July started, Leake has lowered his ERA by 3/4 of a run, and at this time of year, that's awfully hard to do.
Well, when he had that bad 3-game stretch back at the end of May, you can remove some of those games. He's really got some great numbers to post.
This ends the inning on the fly ball out by Tucker Barnhart. We go to the bottom of the ninth now. 4-0 Reds. Brilliant here tonight. 8 innings with a no-run, 4-hit baseball.
You know, we said at the very beginning, Jim, when he is on his game, he makes it look like it's as easy as just standing out there and throwing the ball to the plate. I mean, he had him eating out of his hand all game long. Only walked one. Did not have even all that many difficult defensive plays. But when they did, the Reds were up to it, and they have a commanding 4-0 lead.
Congratulatory hugs in the dugout from teammates. Paul Lassard, the head trainer, talks with Mike. Look at these now. His last 4 starts, a 0.60 ERA. Opponents hitting 146 against him.
Those are Johnny Cueto numbers.
Heck of a job by Mike Leake, the 27-year-old. Former #1 pick by the Reds out of Arizona State. He turns it over now to Aroldis Chapman. Chapman will get Holiday, Peralta, and Molina. Non-save situation with a 4-0 lead. Holiday in the game, 0 for 3. Cardinals had a base runner in the 3rd, reached 3rd base. That was Piscotty. He was stranded there. Had a base runner in the 6th, reached 2nd. That was Colton Wong. He was left on. Reynolds a 2-out double in the 7th. Hayward a pinch hit double in the 8th. Their scoring opportunities few and far between. Chapman trying to put the finishing touches on this game if he can get it. Votto in perfect position on that ground ball for out number 1.
Cardinals probably not very happy to see Chapman in there right now. Check these out. 20 innings, no runs, 35 strikeouts. We wish they had room in that graphic for the word domination, because that's what that is. Not a save opportunity tonight.
Cardinals have been shut out this year 5 times, but not since they lost 2-0 in LA to the Dodgers on the 6th of June. This is a team that has been in first place since the middle of April. They've hung their hat on their pitching, both their starting and their relief pitching. Scored enough runs to win, and certainly they have the best record in baseball with 64 W's coming into tonight. Reds can hang on here. They'll snap a 6-game losing streak to the Cardinals this year. Give themselves an opportunity once again to win a series here for the first time since early September of 2011. Lost 9 straight series here in St. Louis. Molina waits on deck.
Pitch by Chapman, but I don't know if there's something wrong or not. He takes his glove off, gets a trip to the mound visit by Tucker Barnhart, but he's back ready to go now.
High gas right there, and down on strikes goes Peralta.
Well, what they used to say with a hard thrower on the mound, a flamethrower, doesn't even have to be Chapman, but you know they're saying it in the Cardinals dugout after he looked like he may have injured himself a little bit. Well, if it hurts, don't throw. And he comes back at 100.
Must not hurt. 2 out for Yadier Molina. What a dominant performance tonight by the Reds. Starting from a pitching standpoint with Mike Leake. Put it on the shoulders offensively of Joey Votto. Chapman trying to put the finishing touches on this. Trying to get their second win on this road trip. Molina tonight 0 for 3. Lifetime he's hitless against Chapman, 0 for 5. The last time Leake faced these Cardinals, that was here on April the 19th. He went 8, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits. This is going to do it right here. Stepping on first is Votto. Reds win in St. Louis, snapping a 6-game losing streak to the Cardinals. They do it in shutout fashion tonight as they win by the final score of 4-0. Mike Leake will get the glad hand from his teammates, posting his 4th consecutive win, his 9th win overall this year, lowering his ERA from 3.78 to 3.56 with 8 innings of no-run, 4-hit baseball from Mike Leake. 3-run homer by Joey Votto supplied the offense in the 6th inning. Jaime Garcia suffers the loss. His first loss in St. Louis lifetime against Cincinnati. All Reds tonight. They win it by the final score of 4-0.